Shalom, 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 Israel. I want to open up and I want to say, Call Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushua, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahushua, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahushua, Brakatah Yahweh, Brakatah Yahushua. Right, so today through the Spirit, right, going through a video, right, dealing with you have to separate to elevate, right? You must separate to elevate. Everybody needs time off. All right, let's get Philippians 2 real quick, right? This is Philippians chapter 2, verse number 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation. So at the end of the day, everybody's main goal, your number one task, right, should be getting to the kingdom, right? You, yourself, right, getting to the kingdom, right? That's doing the things that you need to do, whether it's praying, fasting, studying. Those are the things that you have to do to get to the kingdom, right? So we all have to work out our own salvation, right? No man or woman can save you, right? You got to put in the work through the Spirit. You got to put in the effort through the Spirit. You got to keep up the faith through the Spirit so that you can be saved, right? Let's get started at chapter 37. Right, because a lot of times, it's very easy to get bogged down in this society. Right now we have phones, right? Of course, everybody has a phone, right? It's easy communication, right? Somebody, they want to talk, they kind of need something. Hey, it's right at their fingertips. They can call you, they can text you. Sometimes it's so easy to get infatuated and in the weeds, in the depths of other people's problems that you don't even have time to focus upon your own problems, right? Sometimes brothers strengthen, exhortate other brothers and sisters so much, that they don't even have time for themselves, that they're barely reading, that they're barely studying, right? And that's very foolish, right? This is Sirach chapter 37, verse 19, right? Giving so much counsel to the point where now you need counsel for real, right? This is Sirach chapter 37, verse 19. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. It's from the Most High. He put certain men in positions, right, where they teach a lot of people. Man, they have a lot of people hitting their line. A lot of people count on them. Brothers may have a household, may have a wife, may have multiple children that depend on them, financially, spiritually. Right, brothers in camps, brothers depending upon them. Right, brothers in leadership positions. They got camps, they got families. Hey, they got a lot of people depending on them, a lot of people that they teach through the Spirit, right? You can do all of that and you're still unprofitable to yourself, right? Every person needs to set some time to themselves to focus upon themselves, right? Because it's at the end of the day, that's how you're going to get into the kingdom, right? You can do all this great counseling, all this great teaching, but if you have no faith, hey, you're not going to make it. All right, let's go to Luke chapter 22. So, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to turn off your phone for a few hours, or even for the whole day. And spend time with the Lord. That's an okay thing to do, and that's actually a very profitable thing to do. And I would encourage brothers and sisters to at least one day out of the week, or at least one day out of 2 weeks, Lord willing, try to dedicate one full day to the Lord. If you can't do a full day, at least 5 hours. At least 5 hours. Turn off the phone. Eliminate distractions. Separate, right, and do your thing through the Spirit, right? Lord willing, brothers should be doing this on a daily basis as well. Meditating, praying. But most are willing at least one day, out of the week. Set aside a few hours where it's just you and the Lord. All right, this is Luke chapter 20. Luke chapter 22, verse number 31. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you. So Satan desired to have Simon. Who was Simon? That's Peter, right? Satan desired to have Peter, right? Why do you think Satan wanted Peter? Peter was a very busy man. Other than Yahweh Shah, he was the top man on the earth at this time, right? Peter had a lot going on. He had himself. He had to look over the other apostles, right? He was kind of like Hamashiach's bodyguard, making sure everything went down straight. You know, he was running errands for the Lord. You know, him and John set up Passover, right? Hey, they got the coat. You know, Peter was a very busy man. He had a lot. Hey, Peter had his family. You know, Peter was watching over the church. He was watching over women in the church as well, right? Peter had a lot going on, right? A lot going on. Peter was a fisherman. He had to make sure he had enough money to go support the things that he had to support. And Peter was a very, very busy man. You know, and Peter was the top man. Peter was a chief man. And many men and women and children counted on Peter, you know. And that's the man that Satan wants. You know, Satan wants the man that's a lot of people depend on. And a lot of people kind of need spiritually in this thing, right? That's the man that Satan wants. Satan, it doesn't say Satan wanted somebody that just came in this thing. Now, Satan wants that man that's built up through the Spirit, right? That man that has a lot of responsibility, right? A busy man, right? That's the man that Satan wants. Satan have desire to have you that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee. And I was meditating upon this earlier. Imagine if Yahweh Shai prayed for you, you know, and that prayer is getting straight up to the third heaven, right? That thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. So, Yahweh Shai told Peter, when thou art converted, aka when you're strong, you know, when you doing the things that you need to be doing, then go strengthen your brother. Right? How can you, if you're sick, how can you help a sick person? That literally makes no sense. You want to give them the sicknesses and the diseases that you have. You know, I'm going to see what this word converted means. Yahweh Shai told Peter when he's converted to go strengthen his brother. Or converted. When he turns back to himself, man, when he gets back on fire, when he gets back laboring, when he gets back praying and fasting like how he needs to be, right, then go strengthen thy brethren, right? And that's real spiritual because, you know, Yahweh Shai, you know, he kind of does this for us as well, right? Brothers experience that. You know, I've experienced that, you know, where, you know, Most High kind of directs me on a path, you know, all praise to the Most High, you know, I get converted, you know, I may have been slacking off. You know, then all praise to the Most High. You know, the Most High converts me. You know, then I'm on fire through the Spirit to go strengthen my brethren. Right? Because not everybody, Yahweh Shai's not praying for everybody. You know, that's John chapter 17. Right? But Peter, he was praying for Peter. Right? And Peter's job was when he was converted to go strengthen his brethren. Right? We get to Proverbs 4. Right? This is one of my favorite precepts right now. Through the Spirit, right? Proverbs 4, verse 25. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thy eyelids look straight before thee. So you gotta imagine this. Let's you gotta have tunnel vision in this truth, right? These words, they just aren't words. You gotta take these things, put them to life, and apply them. You know, the application, right? It's not what tunnel vision. Right, this is how you should want your vision to be. You know, everything else is blurry and is, you know, disoriented. Right, but you're looking straight upon the path. What's the path? The kingdom. What's the path? Yahweh Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahweh. You know, so you gotta have tunnel vision in this thing and let thy eyelids look straight before thee. Right, because all this blurry stuff, this is the world. This is vanity. You know, this is, you know, wasting your time, you know, but this right here, this is the kingdom, right? You got to keep your eyes straight, Most High willing, right? Ponder the path of thy feet, right? So you have to ponder the path of thy feet, right? It doesn't say ponder the path of everybody else in your congregation's feet. Make sure they're doing good, you know, and then you start slipping, huh? So like you, right? You have to ponder the path of thy feet. And let all thy ways be established. So you got to establish your ways. When you establish something, right, that's not anything that's light, you know. Let's see what this word establish means. having been in existence for a long time. So you have to establish things, man. And you have to let your ways, the way you walk, the way you move, the way you talk, how many times you pray, how many times you fast, how many chapters you read, let that be established, man. Build strong habits. You got to ponder the path of thy feet, and then let all thy ways be established. All right, let's go to Proverbs 16. It's Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. Commit thy works unto Yahweh. So the Bible doesn't say commit your works unto man, be there anytime, man. The Lord doesn't say that. Be there anytime, man or woman needs you. That's not in the Bible, right? Hey, commit thy works unto the Lord, man. Hey, do what the Lord needs you to do, right? And thy thoughts shall be established. All right, let's go to Sirach 33. Because a lot of times, men, they let things have power and control over them. That's not the Lord. The only thing that should have control over you is the Most High God, right? Not men, not men's opinions, not women, not women's opinions, right? Those things should have little to no weight, within your eyes, right? This is Sirach chapter 33, verse 19. Give not thy son and wife and brother and friend power over thee when thou livest, right? You're in the middle of reading the chapter, right? You hear a ding, right? Then you got to look. And that's giving power over thee. And you think that may be your wife, and she may need something. Brother, Yahweh Shah is literally supping with you when you open up the Bible and when you read. He's literally feeding you. And you interrupt Yahweh Shah while he is in the midst of a great feast, and you just walk out. You're going off. You may not be invited back, right? Or if you get invited back, the Lord, he may have some words for you, right? He may have some, that door may be locked, right? The door may be locked for a few minutes. You kind of go out, try to open up the door, but the door is locked. You're asking, where is it? Hamashiach. Well, brother, he kind of dipped out. Lord willing, he returns. I have faith that he's going to return, right? But he may not return, right? And if he returns, it may not be within the same spirit that as it was when you were there, truly enjoying it, right? While thou livest, and give not thy goods to another. What's your goods? What's your goods? First good is time. Stop giving your time to everybody. You got to be very selective with your time. Be very selective about who you talk to, when you talk to them, right? How long the conversations are, right? You got to be selective of that, right? Because, I can speak for myself. I can be doing a lot of things with my time. Brothers got a lot upon their plates, So do not give thy goods to another, lest it repent thee, lest you on the phone right, you did what you had to do, right? Now you're on the phone with brothers for 3 hours, and now you only read 2 chapters. You're the type of man that needs to read about 10 chapters and go over at least 100, 200 precepts to feel spiritually fed, right? But now, you're on the phone with brothers for 3 hours, that's going to repent. You're going to repent. And you're going to have to repent of that. You're going to wish, damn, why was I on the brother's damn phone call for damn 3 hours, right? And thou entreat for the same again. As long as thou livest and hast breath in thee, give not thyself over to any. So, as long as you live, don't give yourself over to any. And the Most High created you. Give him your strength. Give the Most High your strength, right? Stop giving man and woman, and your phone and damn social media. Brothers and sisters shouldn't even be on social media like that, for real. I put damn wicked spirits on you. You see wicked things. It's largely a waste of time. Very much largely a waste of time, So you got to be very careful with your time, and you got to separate in this thing. Right, this is Matthew chapter 14, verse 23. And when he had sent the multitude away, Yahweh Shah, he sent people away from him. And he saw that call But he kind of hit he kind of hit the kind of hit the end he kind of hit the end button. He kind of hit that red button. He kind of said, kind of, if you're on the iPhone, kind of hit the damn triple dots. Talking about sorry, I can't talk right now. Yahweh Shai, he sent the multitudes. A multitude is not just a few people. This is a lot of people. This is likely thousands of people that Yahweh Shai sent away. Right? He went up into a mountain apart to pray. So Yahweh Shai, he ducked off, and went up into a mountain to pray. And when the evening was come, he was there alone. Yahweh Shai ducked off by himself to pray, to meditate, and to go do the things that he had to do through the Spirit. This is Yahweh Shai. He is our example. This isn't a light thing. Yahweh Shai, he ducked off from men. This is John chapter 13, verse 15. For I have given you an example that ye should do as I have done to you. That's plain. So, however Yahweh Shai treated the church, that's how we have to move through the Spirit, right? So if Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Creator of all spirits, righteous and wicked, if he even needed time in his flesh to duck off, right, to separate, to pray, how much more us? How much more you? How much more me? I don't know what's going on in this thing, man. I just pray that the Most High can continue to have grace and mercy upon me. I pray that the Lord can continue to guide me. Pray that the Lord can continue to keep me strong in this thing. But I have no idea what's going on. So if Yahweh Shai, if he even ducked off, that should make it plain that sometimes we're gonna have to duck off. Sometimes you're gonna have to turn your phone on D&D. I speak for myself. My phone is always on D&D. Always. My phone 24/7. My phone is on D&D. The only way, you can kind of call. You gotta kind of call twice in this thing. And I got to be on my phone, to get it. And it is what it is. Because I know for me, that's what it takes. That's what it takes for me to stay in the Spirit. Sometimes you gotta shut off the phone. I kind of throw the phone in the book bag for a few hours sometimes. Put it all the way across the other side of the room, for a few hours and pick up the Bible and do what I need to do. Right? This is Luke chapter 5, verse 16. And he withdrew himself into the wilderness. So Yahweh Shai, he didn't retreat into damn downtown. He didn't retreat to the damn harbor. He didn't, Yahweh Shai, he retreated into the wilderness. Right, into solitude, into peace, right, and prayed. So when you flee in righteousness, when you flee and when you withdraw yourself and when you separate, right, it shouldn't be the thing about vanity and folly and things that don't matter. It should be to pray. It should be to meditate upon righteousness, right, pursuant to Philippians, the 4th chapter. It should be to call upon the Lord. It should be to read. It should be to study, right? That's the type of thing should be going on, because you have to separate to elevate, right? Yahweh Shai separated. How much more you? Right, this is Psalms chapter 55, verse 6. And I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove. So this is David. This is David, man. A man after Yahweh's heart. Right? He said he wished that he had wings. Like a dove, man. For then would I fly away and be at rest. So David, he was king. David had a lot going on, man. David was at war damn near constantly. Whether it was spiritual warfare, physical warfare. David had a lot going on, man. David had to remain upright and perfect in everything. He had to guide millions of, hundreds of thousands of Israelites. He had a lot going on. He had to lead them to the kingdom of heaven. David had a lot going on, man. But, he said he wished he had wings like a dove, kind of dip off, kind of duck off, kind of disappear in righteousness, right? Lo, then would I wander far off. And David said he will wander far off. He didn't say, he will wander, you know, to my room, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But David, he wanted to wander far off, right? He wanted to disconnect for real, from this world, right? Lo, then would I wander far off and remain in the wilderness. David wished to remain in the wilderness. If David's, David's on the earth right now. David's not on Instagram all damn day long. That's off. David's not texting 1,000 brothers at the same time, and responding to 40 different emails, and going to work. David is ducked off for real. David does what he needs to do, because kings, he had to do what he had to do through the Spirit, to make sure everything was straight, But when the time was appointed, David, he's ducking off, and remain in the wilderness, Salah. I would hasten to escape from the windy storm and tempest. So when you understand, the whirlwind and the tempest that's going into destruction, right? So David said, he would hasten, which means he would kind of want to escape, man. Everybody still want to escape in this thing from time to time. You should want to separate, because this world is full of wickedness, madness, and folly, full of the worldly men, worldly women, the flesh and the lust thereof, and worldly pleasures. Sometimes everybody needs to separate. And Lord willing, you separate, you do what you need to do, and Lord willing, the Most High, He can elevate you, take you to a whole another level through the Spirit. All right, this is Mark chapter 6, verse 46. And when he had sent them away, Yahweh sent people away. He departed, and he ducked off, right, into a mountain to pray, right? Let me get John chapter 6. All right, so Lord willing, this should be played upon the table. So even Hamashiach Yahweh, even he needed time off to separate, and you're gonna need time off. Don't feel bad, because you missed 4 phone calls in one day. Don't feel bad, If it was done in righteousness, if you, it's gonna say, I'm gonna take this day off, put down my phone for these hours, say I'm already fasting, put down my phone, I'm in Psalms, I'm gonna read, a specific amount of chapters in Psalms. I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna meditate for as long as I need to, and then after that, I'm gonna pick up my phone, and whatever happens, it kind of happens in this thing, It's John chapter 6, verse 15. When Yahweh therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force to make him a king, he departed again into a mountain himself alone. So this is stressful, man. Everybody trying to be around. King, this thing for is real spiritual. First of all, we're kings spiritually. We're spiritual kings. Soon we're going to be physical kings, Most High willing, with crowns upon our heads in rulership, judging these nations, right? Setting things up in order in the name of Hamashiach Yahweh, right? Yahweh Ba'Shem Hamashiach Yahweh. Right, so this is so to be a physical king, you got people around you, people need you, just a lot, and you got to set a lot of stuff in order, a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, a lot of stress. And you may get into an argument, a lot of, turmoil. You got 80 million people that need 80 different things right now. So when this was happening to Yahweh Shah, when they wanted to make him a king, this isn't light. A king over an entire nation. Imagine in the United States. Imagine everybody just picked you and they wanted you to be king. Imagine everybody in the United States said, F Joe Biden. We want you. Everybody wants you. We want you to be, you got to kind of, speaking carnally, you got to kind of overthrow the damn government. You got to remove people from off power. Probably got to kill some people. All hell's, you got to raise up an army. You got to lead them in a battle. You got to set up, Hey, this is a lot, man. So when Yahushua had this going on, right, he departed again into a mountain himself alone. So Yahushua, he kind of dipped off. And you best believe people, were asking, hey, where's Yahushua? He kind of disappeared in this thing. Hey, he kind of had to do what he had to do. People kind of asking, people kind of, hey, yeah, probably had people searching for him. People, where could he be? Going into places where, he was found often, going into the synagogues, going into the temples, checking the highways and byways, going to where the sick people are, seeing if they can find how Mashiach. But hey, they got to deal with it. Hey, he kind of ducked off into a mountain himself alone. Peter wasn't with him. John and James of Zebedee, nobody was with him, right? He was in the mountain by himself. And it was what it was. And whoever needed him, it kind of was what it was. They kind of had to wait. And it was what it was. Right? This is Mark chapter 1, verse 35. And in the morning, rising up a great while, but before day. Yahushua, he wasn't a late riser. Yahushua didn't get up at 12, at 12, man. At noon. Yahushua wasn't waking up at noonday. That's off. Waking up at noonday. Scratching your head, trying to figure out what happened. Brother, damn near the whole day is gone, brother. And Yahushua woke up early. When he went out and departed into a solitary place and there prayed. So Yahushua, he woke up early. Everybody else is still asleep. And when he went out by himself and prayed. That's a righteous spirit to move in. Lord willing, I can move in that spirit. Lord willing, everybody watching this video and the whole nation can move in that spirit. Right, this is Luke chapter 6, verse 12. And it came to pass in those days that he went out into a mountain to pray and continued all night in prayer to God. Yahushua ducked off to pray, and he prayed all night long. Lord willing, the Most High put that on my spirit to do. Lord willing, everybody's watching this video, and then the Most High willing, the whole nation. I'm going to close out at 1 Kings 19. Right, this is 1 Kings chapter 19, verse 3. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life. So we'll get the context. Right, starting in verse 2. Then Jezebel sent a message unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me and more. Also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. Right? So yeah, Jezebel, she killed the prophets. Basically, she said, hey, Elijah, I have a hit on you, right? And the bounty is due tomorrow at this time. Let's see, Elijah, was he just in the city roaming about with his neck up, puffed out, with his chest up and his shoulders back? No, Elijah didn't do that. Elijah was moving in the spirit of wisdom, right? Verse 3. And when he saw that, he arose. Hey, you got to kind of imagine this thing. Imagine somebody tells you that, this wicked woman, she says she's going to kill you by tomorrow. And if she doesn't kill you, she's going to die. Bro, Elijah, he didn't ask second questions. He wasn't like Lot. He didn't tarry. He arose and went for his life. Now imagine somebody had a price on your head. Imagine how fast you'll be moving. Elijah, he got up out of that thing and came to Beersheba, which belongeth to Judah, and left his servant there. And he himself, so he left his servant in Beersheba, right? But he himself went a day's journey. Our forefathers, they weren't like us. It kind of walks, 10 miles, and your knee starts hurting. Your ankle starts getting swollen. You kind of got to stop. You kind of got to take a nap. A day. This is probably at least 20 miles, if not like 50 miles. right? This is a lot of miles right here, right? But he went, it's like, but he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness. So he went into the wilderness. He left his servant in Beersheba, right? But when he understood, what was going on, he kind of went into the wilderness, you know. So, hey, this is spiritual. When Elijah recognized that, hey, Satan is on this woman, and hey, she's trying to get me jammed up. When you realize that Satan is moving, and he's trying to get you jammed up, he's trying to get you to go off. Satan is trying to deprive you of the kingdom. Satan is trying to deprive you of life. He's trying to make you go sin. He's trying to make you go off, right? He's tempting you, right? We have an example, right? Elijah fled into the wilderness on his lonesome, you know. So, Lord willing, this was edifying through the Spirit. Sometimes you kind of got to duck off for a day, for 2 days, for 3 days, for a few hours. Having the Most High puts it on your spirit, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Work out your own salvation first and foremost. So with that, I want to say, La Alanawi Hawa, Ba Shema Mashak Hawasha, La Alanawi Ba, Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Hallelujah. Right? All praise to the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba Shema Mashak Hawasha, Shalom.